Listen to Change This Mission podcast show. Welcome back to the Transition to Change This Mission podcast show. Thank you for tuning in with your host, King Summers.
And your host, Queen Summers.
We was left off on asking a couple of questions, but the main topic of the second half is the current event of storming the Capitol. Me, myself, I just like to have the audience participate in giving answers to these questions that I'm about to ask. Just a friendly reminder that you can write your answers in to tcmissionspeaks@gmail.com, or you can call now at 910-985-9090. Just leave your name and your expression about these questions that me and Queen Summers will ask. Now, my first question is, how do you feel about the allowing or the storming of the Capitol? Do you think sitting president need to be impeached? Now, my answers to both of those questions is this: that it's wrong for any group to storm anywhere to protest or any type of violence. Mm-hmm. I also feel if the evidence come proving that President Donald Trump had something to do with the enticing of the storming of the Capitol, then yes, I do feel like he need to be impeached by the laws that is in the book. But I do also say that if they do so, or moving forward with this, and actually press charges to the people that stormed the Capitol or impeach Donald Trump, it's still a changing of the curve. Because what I feel like a lot of people right now is feeling that the system is biased. And there is a feeling and atmosphere that they are trying to change the atmosphere of negativity towards a particular group, which is African American.
But when you look at the African Americans, I look at President Trump as being no different than Yoweri Museveni. He's the president over there in Uganda, and everybody under the age of 35, and that is more than 3/4 of the population in Uganda, have only known one president. Yoweri Museveni, he came to power on the back of an armed uprising in 1986. He has defied the political laws of gravity, which have failed other long-serving leaders in the region. He's 76 years old, so this 76-year-old's time at the top has been accompanied by a long period of peace and big developmental changes, for which many are grateful. But he has managed to maintain his grip on power through a mixture of encouraging a personality cult, employing patronage, compromising independent institutions, and sidelining opponents. During the last election 5 years ago, when he addressed the issue of him stepping down, he asked, "How can I go out of a banana plantation I have planted that has started bearing fruits?" For this revolutionary, the harvest is still not over. 35 years as a president.
So would you say that he's a dictator? Or has been showing signs of being a dictator?
Yes.
Do you relate that to saying that President Donald Trump is a dictator?
In my personal opinion, I wouldn't say that he is a dictator. I would say that he have done many things to manipulate the American people's minds all the way back from when we first found out about the COVID. That came back out in December. We didn't find out till in March.
Yes, my queen.
And also this vaccine rollout. The vaccine rollout, the way that they explained it to the people in the beginning, it was supposed to be quicker than it is now.
Yes.
It has slowed drastically.
Yes. But I would say through the whole president or for anybody that has been elected, especially in these last 16 years, has been historical. One thing I did like about President Trump of opening the door up for not being a politician. He done a lot of things that upset a lot of politicians, which a lot of people agree to, what they call the draining of the swamp. There's a lot of other things that I don't like about a lot of different presidents that have done things in their office. But I do accept that they was elected. Like I stated before, Donald Trump has 70 million followers. He has a large fan base on Twitter and Facebook, even though that's shut down. But I know you get upset about that. But
Yes.
They take your Facebook and your Twitter, boy. That's like the end of the world to a lot of people.
How many people have been to Facebook jail and prison?
So that's just maybe the beginning of a fall for President Donald Trump. But I would still say some uplifting things about him. Him and President Joe Biden, they brought out the biggest turnout of votes.
They did.
Even though I do not believe in a voting system, which is now being on the platform now, but I always been feeling like that. Until I say votes turn into demands, I would not participate into that. But I will sit back and look at it, express my voice, because everybody got a voice if you don't vote or if you do vote, especially with Transition to Change's mission.
Right. And they want to enact the 25th Amendment to get him out of the office. But I say, we got, a couple weeks left? Just let the man sit there and, get ready to plan his exit. I was reading something somewhere where it said he's even trying to leave the White House before Joe is actually sworn in so that he can ride on Air Force One. Because, after Joe is sworn in, you can't ride on Air Force One. You have to ask for permission.
Well, there's a lot of things that our eyeball need to be up on President Trump, especially at these times.
Yeah.
But it's just that Transition Change's mission is trying to promote positivity. if there is any disagreement going on, call us, write an email, express to us. That's one thing I want stamped in people's minds. We are here for you.
Yes.
And don't go out doing nothing that can invoke violence or violence to another person, like the storming of the Capitol.
Absolutely. And if you have any negativity, practice patience. Patience is a virtue, or at least that's how the saying goes. But is it really? Patience is defined as the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting upset or angry. A definition with several important components. Patience is also a skill. We can work on increasing our ability to be patient and engage in practices to become a more patient person. Before looking at how to develop more patience, it is best to define what we are actually talking about. Patience, or lack thereof, impatience, occurs in response to some sort of difficulty or delay in life that is not going according to expectation. A day can hardly be lived without encountering something that interferes with our plans, and so we might say that the interferences or disruptions are a normal part of life. To expect otherwise will make it difficult to be patient. Could it be that one of the strategies for developing the skill of patience is adjusting our expectations so that they are more realistic? We can learn to expect disruptions. We also see that a part of the above definition for patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate. Acceptance, what a misunderstood word. Acceptance is often confused with like or approve, but acceptance is more of an idea of surrender. Many things occur in life that are undesirable. Our option is to fight against it and to try to change it, or to surrender and accept it as reality.
Wow. So I know this. If I was the president, I would have a problem getting out of that office. All that power. Man, you got an option to be in there 4 more years. You got to stop at the red lights. You get free flight over the world. You influence everybody. I can see why President Trump is upset. I know I would too, but I will accept it, like Queen Summers is trying to express, of how to accept and have patience with that. Because to me, patience is like a form of time. It's like the time is ticking and you're trying to figure out what the future is with the next second that is ticking. And all along, it's a clock that is just repeating itself, and all you have to do but sit back and enjoy the ride. And every answer that you are seeking will come to you.
Surrender tends to have a negative connotation associated with it, likely from its use in the context of war. Yet we surrender to certain realities all the time and don't think twice. There is much in nature that we surrender to, such as gravity, seasons, daylight, and darkness. We do not view surrender to those realities as a bad thing. Why not? It is because we are sure we cannot change that specific reality, so we choose not to fight it. Rather, we accept the reality. Impatience often comes as a result of not surrendering to a situation that we really cannot fight. Getting stuck in traffic, waiting on somebody late for a meeting, or being sidelined by someone else's mistake are examples of the need to surrender to a reality that we cannot change. The final component in the definition for patience is accepting or tolerating the situation without getting angry or upset. It helps to separate the feeling of anger from the behavior of anger. We can choose our behaviors, but we cannot choose our feelings. Feelings just happen. When we feel something, we have the responsibility to manage that feeling and to choose what behavior we will exhibit in response to the feeling. How do you, in the midst of a strong feeling, choose to behave? Write to us. tcmissionspeaks@gmail.com. We love to hear from you.
Yes, we would. And I love to express this thought to you. That's one of the reasons why what Queen Summers was just expressing fits into our movement. The reason why I say that is all the things she was saying: patience, acceptance,